Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Forged Irish Stout and Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by a man down under, Mr. Conor Wallace today. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, and thanks for having me on.
No, don't be silly. Look, Mick got in touch with me. I know what a project he's got going on down with you guys at Tasman Fighters. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Find it quite interesting because it's sort of away from the conventional, it's away from the norm. You've taken a bit of a risk in sort of the shows are on DAZN, and we know that it's sort of all in the last couple of years down in Australia, all just been with one broadcaster. But I imagine you yourself, you've seen the plan, you've seen the opportunities that his guys are getting, and that's something that you want to be a part of as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the opportunities now that we're getting is absolutely massive, and I'm very grateful to be given the opportunity. Mick Francis and that at Tasman Fighters are doing an unbelievable job out here, and I'm very privileged to be given the chance to be headlining live on the zone. The first one was the first show they had. Apart from Eddie Hearn's matchroom card, it was on as well. But to be given the chance to headline for Tasman Fighters on my own card, it's been absolutely amazing.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, having that headline slot. I don't know what it is about you guys, but no Christmas. You like a load of fights around the December period. Talk to me a little bit about this one. What do you know about your opponent? What are you expecting going in there on fight night?
Yeah, well, I'm fighting Opetaia Jr. He's got a good record and stuff. He's tough, comes forward, he comes to fight. He's a big puncher. That always adds that extra bit of danger. But now I'm looking forward to really getting in there and showcasing what I can do. The last fight that I had was my first fight where I was fully injury free. I had had a bit of problems with my hands, but that was the first fight where I had no pain at all, no breakdowns in camp, and I think I'm going from strength to strength.
Talk a little bit about dealing with injuries because it's sort of all well and good the physical part, but sometimes it's the mental part as well, finding yourself in the training thing and not knowing and then having to stop and start again. But now you say you're in a positive place with everything and everything's running smoothly.
Yeah, definitely. Yourself, you can be just a week out from the fight or something that has happened to me before, where I broke my hand in sparring a week out from the fight. That you do the full camp, and then like, why all is me? Or like it has happened a couple of times where I've got injured, quite close to a fight. You're like, oh, what's the story here? It's frustrating, but you just gotta uh, get your taste and get along with it, and hopefully just hope for the best and come out the other end, which I've done many a time, and it has paid off. I've had a couple of big wins since I've come through the injuries, and I plan on keeping going from strength to strength.
Without sort of overlooking your opponent come December 20, what is the plan for 2024? When I was speaking to Mick out in Cancun, he spoke really highly of you and said that he was expecting a big year. I believe you picked up an IBF belt in one of your last fights. I was having a little look. I know you're ranked there. Is it trying to get yourself up in all them governing bodies, force yourself in a position where all the best guys have got to fight you?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm in the sport. I've dedicated my whole life to the sport. Been boxing since I was 9, and these are the fights that you dream about when you're a young boy. But now they're actually not far away. I'm ranked in the top 15 with all four of the major governing bodies. So Mick Francis and my manager Stephen Deller and that they're doing a massive job with me, and they're moving me along nicely. So the main thing for me is to keep winning. That's they can look after the other partner. I'll just keep winning. That's the plan.
I was going to
So
say, best way to do that is having a fight so sort of close to the end of the year. At least you still get your Christmas Day slot. I imagine you just want to be out as soon as you can in the new year and just progress and get as many fights as you can and just step the levels up.
yeah, definitely. The main thing is to keep learning and getting better with every fight. And I've only had 12 pro fights. Obviously, I've had a lot of amateur fights, but having only 12 pro fights, the guys above me, they all have a lot more fights than me. So and I know myself, I'm not. I need to be realistic. I need another couple of good learning fights before I fight the top boys. But I'm a realist. I know that myself. I'm not one of these dreamers who think I'm gonna
Got
be
time and
fighting
age
big
on your
ones.
side as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I just feel like I'm only really starting to mature and grow into the weight properly. So
Aussie boxing, let's talk a little bit about that because it's one that's sort of growing traction over the last couple of years. Now, there's always been a couple of good fighters that have come out, but just in speaking to people, certain times that boxing can't go on a weekend because it will clash with other sports that tend to get TV slots. But it really feels from speaking to people down on your side and down there and sort of getting a feel and seeing some of the events that are coming out of Australia. It's something that's really growing and probably a good time to be a boxer down under.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Definitely, it's going from strength to strength, and I think it's one of the strongest that Australian boxing has ever been in. With the likes of Jai Opetaia
Yeah.
paving the way for us, Tim Tszyu, Liam Paro, all great fighters fighting on massive platforms, and none better than Jay. It's a good example. He's with Tasman Fighters as well. So if we can follow in his footsteps or anything like him, I'll not be going too bad.
I was going to say, someone with Jai, I mean, you would have known for a long, long time, but I suppose us maybe over in the UK and US, people don't really know. And then you get your shot against someone like Myris Breedis and you show just how good you are. All of a sudden, you land that fight in the UK like he did with Jordan Thompson. I suppose it also shows
Yeah.
that me firsthand, I've seen the connection that Mick's got with Eddie and the team at Matchroom. You know, you're sort of in that position where if you impress, the opportunities are going to come.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Like I've actually fought on the undercard of the Breedis and Jai Opetaia on the Gold Coast, and that's where I won the regional belts to get me the world ranking. So that was a massive card and massive platform to be on as well. And if you can keep that up and keep winning like that on them sort of cards, I'll not be a million miles away. So I know that I'm in good hands, and I'm very grateful for Tasman Fighters getting behind me and the zone and stuff. So the sky's the limit, and I just need to keep moving in the right direction.
We see Irish boxing's made a huge resurgence over the last couple of years. That must also be something in your mind, right? I mean, we saw the night that happened in Belfast. Obviously, it wasn't to be for Mick Conlon, but what a spectacle! The atmosphere was incredible in there. Just before the free arena, absolutely packed for Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron. It's mad because you turn up and from the first fight of the night, the atmosphere is just incredible. We know that the Irish back their own. You must be so eager to try and sort of force yourself even to get an opportunity sometime back over here. That would be incredible for you, right?
Yeah, it definitely would be unbelievable. Like they're all my teammates. They're all the guys I was on the amateur teams with. Kevin Agyarko, Gary Cully, Thomas Carty. They're all boys that were the exact same age as me, born in 1996. We were all on the same team for years, coming up through the amateur ranks. So they're doing massive things as well, and I'm not far. I'm not far away from the big nights with them boys too.
Well, Connor, like you say, you got yourself that ranking in all the governing bodies in the top 15, but also on BoxRec, just a face value thing. We know that that's a great way to get fight. I suppose just a message now for the people watching who maybe haven't seen you fight over here on the UK shores. We know that obviously this fight's on DAZN this week. Sorry, next week. You're going to have that opportunity. There's a big viewing globally. What's your message to them and why should they be following you?
Yeah, definitely tune in. I always bring the excitement. I come to fight. I'm a tall southpaw rangy and I can punch. So um, I always bring the excitement, and I bring a mad crowd as well. The fighting Irish is always here. You'll see the green shirts, the Wallace Army. So you definitely will be entertained. You don't want to miss it.
I'm sure the bar will be drunk absolutely dry come December 20th. I look forward to following and hopefully we'll catch up in the new year. Just a final message to your fans and supporters ahead of a big fight December 20 and a big strong 2024.
Yeah, thank you very much for the support. And again, thanks to yourself for having me on. And make sure you tune in to DAZN on the 20th of December, and you'll see a good show.
Connor, top man, thank you for speaking to us. All the best come December 20.
Thank you very much for having me.